I'm Ananya and welcome to a slow reader's journey. As somebody who reads a lot of books, I get this question a lot. What is your favorite book? I hate that question. I hate that question. Because it's so hard to narrow it down to one book and to just pick one thing and call it your favorite when there's so many things out there which are so meaningful and so impactful and so entertaining. But if you were to ask me what are my favorite books, multiple, then these three might make the cut. Let's go. There is no particular order to this list. I can't rank these books. I'm just telling you about them in the order that I discovered them. Number one is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I discovered this book back in January 2021, I believe, and it's been on my mind ever since. I've not stopped thinking about it. I can still remember some of the lines that were there and get goosebumps. The book follows Evelyn Hugo, who's an actress in the 1800s or 1900s Hollywood, and the atmosphere of this book is out of this world. You get all the behind the scenes of Hollywood, but it's also retro, and there's so much that's going on. There's so much drama, there's so many intricate details, and there's so much injustice and so much emotion that Evelyn Hugo carries around in her life, and through everything that happens to her, you're going to care about her from the very starting. You're going to dislike her, you're going to like her, it's a back and forth, but you're going to care about her. And when you care about the characters in a book, that's just probably one of the best signs, right? That just means that you've connected to it in a different level, and I believe it's very easy for people to connect to this book. The message in this book is so important, the writing is so beautiful. Everybody needs to read this book. Everybody needs to read this book. Everybody needs to read this book. Whenever somebody asks me to recommend them a book and I don't know what they like or what their tastes are, I can still very safely recommend them this book because there's a very high probability that everybody will like it. It's written in such a fast-paced manner. So much is happening. It is a plot-based and a character-based book. So if you like either of those things you've said. It also has one of my favorite last lines ever. Side note. Number 2, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. My mom has this habit of ordering random books for me from my wish list. This book was there and she'd ordered it for me once as a gift. I had not planned on reading it for a long time. You know that if you have a to be read list, it spans across years. So this was nowhere near on my priority list. But my mother had bought it for me, so I had to read it. And it's a life-changing book. It's a life-changing book, and I'm not exaggerating. I took 3 months to finish this book. I took 3 months to read this 400-page novel, and I'm so glad I took all that time. I'm so glad that I took it all in, I soaked it all in, and I felt every emotion as much as I could, because this book, it deserves it. The Nightingale follows the story of two sisters, Isabel and Vienne, in Germany invaded France at the time of World War II. I generally don't read books about war because they're very heavy for me and they leave me sad in a way that I don't enjoy it. But this one is different. Was this heavy? Yes. Did it break me? Yes. Did I cry for 15 minutes after I finished that book and closed it? Yes. But do I absolutely love it? Yes. This is a book about war, but it's a book about war from the perspective of the women left behind. You don't see any direct scenes of action or trauma from what's happening on the front line, but you see what's happening in the villages left behind. You see how people are struggling and fighting for their lives, and how all of these people are heroes. How Isabel and Vienne were so different, but are both heroes in their own way for how they deal with their story, and they deserve the world. This is a book about war. It's a book about love, and it's a book about love at the time of war. It's a book about family, and it's a book about women being powerful and being resilient and dealing with whatever comes their way and just standing their ground and making it through. And it's beautiful. Side note, I was once talking to my mom about this book, and I was telling her about the story and what happens broadly, and I burst out crying just talking about it. That has never happened before, but it happened for this story. Number 3 is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This book, it's different. It's a very popular book on the internet as one of the best mystery thrillers out there. Is this book a thriller? I'm not sure, because the mystery is in the undertones. It's so subtle, but it's always present. You won't feel scared reading this book, but you'll be so intrigued. You'll flip through it, and it's a tiny book. It's a tiny book. So I finished it in 2 days, and it was after years that I'd finished a book in 2 days. And I loved it. You see how I've tabbed this book? These are all color-coded tabs. We Were Liars is about a rich family that owns an island and everything that goes on in that family. This talks about money in a way that I've not read in books before. It talks about family inheritance in a way that I've not read before. But there's also young love, and there's friendship, and then there's the whole mystery of what is happening here. The plot twist of this book, it broke something inside me. I stopped functioning like a normal human being for a while. When I was reading it and the plot twist came, I shut the book, kept it there, and I went to my mom and I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like this one. I almost considered not reading ahead. I'm so glad I did, because it's beautiful in a very haunting way. The narrator of this book is an unreliable narrator, so storytelling varies a lot at different points in time, and that adds so much to the mystery, because you're thinking like this narrator and you get as confused as she is, but you also feel like there's something you know but you don't know, and it drives you crazy, but in the best way possible. It's a great book to read for someone who does not want something very emotional and heavy, but something very intriguing, very engaging, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of drama. You've got it. We Were Liars is it for you, in this case. Yeah. Thank you for listening to me talk about my 3 most favorite books. I love doing that. I'll probably be talking about them more in a lot of other videos, but I hope you stick around till then.